Doug Carr, Scott Anderson, Kang back in our studios. We are outside Comerica Park getting you set for Tigers and Guardians in the ALDS Game 3, tied at 1 here. People getting ready, already lining up to get in to Comerica Park, and the tailgate lots are filling up around us. Things are starting to buzz down here. It's going to be a big day, and it should be very, very exciting. And Tigers playing unbelievably well. I mean, this crew of players, this manager, this pitching coach, it's been incredible. It's been incredible what they've been able to pull off. Cater Montero getting the call for the Tigers today. He has been outstanding against the Guardians this year. 8 1/3, 4 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, no earned runs in 2 appearances. He did all that in 98 pitches. I'm sure they aren't thinking he's going to go complete game, but that's very rarely the plan.
In the playoffs these days?
Yeah, and yet, you know, the numbers are right there in front of you. He's had a lot of success in his 2 appearances, including on Saturday against this Guardians team. We shall see. 1-1, 2 games in. Tigers sitting in a good spot with the next 2 at home and a Scooble start in the holster. Minimum goal is to get one of these 2 in Detroit. Maximum is to win them both and save Scooble for the next round. That's a big picture question. That's a 30,000-foot view. Right now, Gator, it's about these next 9 innings that'll take place this afternoon.
It is. I just saw a gentleman walk past with a Riley Green Erie Seawolves jersey.
Oh, that's kind of sweet.
That is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And they've unleashed the hounds.
Yep.
The gates are open at least to get in here. I don't know if they're open to get into the ballpark, but as far as
it's a
coming
gated
down the
area
street
here. Yeah, they've got it cordoned off. But, yep, big party down here in Detroit. Let's get back to your phone calls. We've asked the question about how in a series, almost invariably, you start to just guys on the other team start to irritate you, and it happens for sometimes they do the most innocuous things, like they don't even really do anything that offensive, but you find it offensive.
You'll make it offensive.
Yeah, Josh Naylor's mustache. I mean, come on.
There's a common theme with Josh Naylor through the ticket text, by the way.
Which is what?
Everyone thinks he should be working at a gas station. Like, just everybody. It's unbelievable.
Well, fortunately, he's been good. But
he's got that body, but he's been very good for Cleveland. I mean, 108 runs driven in on the season. I think he had 31 home runs. He's good. You gotta watch out for him. There's a few batters in that lineup you have to pay extra attention to. He's one of them.
Let's get to your phone calls. We go to Roy. You're on 97.1 A Ticket. Hello, Roy.
Hey, greetings. Hey, greetings from Toledo, land of the Mud Hens, where most of these miracle men started. There's a buzz down here like you wouldn't believe. I was at Game 2, sitting in what's basically the equivalent of K-Line Corner, right there. Got to watch the home run drop down in a sea of really angry red and blue, and it made my brother and I extremely happy.
That's funny.
Having said that, it's Josh Naylor. I'm sorry. He's a cross between that duck from like the 1970s cartoons that was round at the bottom with the big white diaper and that Partridge Family partridge that tried to wiggle off that egg. I swear his walk-up music should be Fat Bottom Girls. He's a softball player body.
To make the rock and world go round.
It's funny. It's funny. He's just out there playing, but I find him irritating as well. And it was all about his celebration when he broke up the no-hitter. And I'm like, all right, enough. And if I go back and look at it, I bet he did just north of nothing.
Right.
You know, right? I was just mostly I was mad about the no-hitter getting broken up.
You had a muscle twitch, and you're like,
Yeah.
he's telling the crowd to do the wave.
Yeah. This guy. Thank you, Roy. We go to Josh next on 97.1 A Ticket. Hi, Josh.
Hi, Stephen Boak. I have a healthy hatred. I hate that man. He's a reversed Jose Ramirez. His head is way too small for his big-ass body. His face is uncomfortable. He looks like a bulldog chewing on a bumblebee. This guy, he just seems like a jerk. Like, he could be in Italy eating pasta, and he would be the one to make the comment, this isn't Olive Garden. Just look at him. I hate, like, he's walking down the sidewalk. He would never avoid his shoulder running into anyone. That's how big of a jerk he looks.
That's like the biggest jerk.
This guy, I got to tell you, it's amazing the conclusions we can draw just from seeing a guy on TV for a few seconds. He's got him as Olive Garden pasta snob.
I mean, when you're there, you're family, you know?
Yeah, right.
That's
Exactly.
right. Let's go to Tony. You're next on 97.1 The Ticket. Hello, Tony.
Hey, guys, put another vote in for Josh Naylor. He's probably on the team only because his brother's on the team. And so, you know, he reminds me of my days in the beer league softball where, you know, he's got 2 wristbands and he's got his, you know, helmet painted. And he just takes me back to the guy who's swinging for the fences, you know, those left-handed, you know, home run hitters. And I don't know, I got the cooties just looking at him.
Well, it's
At some point, this is going to start to feel uncomfortable.
why is that?
I'm just saying. There's a lot of unhealthy feelings being thrown at these guys for no reason.
Oh, no, it makes me laugh because I played second base. And when they hit that ball to me, I knew I had, you know, maybe about an hour and a half to throw to first because the guy wasn't a speedster, let me tell you.
Well, that might be Naylor. 248-539-9797. Let's go to Steven next on 97.1 The Ticket. Hello, Steven.
How's it going, guys?
Good.
It's got to be Josh Naylor. If his helmet falls off one more time when he swings, my TV's going off the balcony.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
No.
But yes, his helmet does have a propensity to come off. The Tiger pitchers are fooling him.
Kang, you see all the ticket texts that come in. Based upon the phone calls, is this basically a runaway winner?
No, I mean, you haven't read any of the text. I have definitely sent you some text. But Naylor's, I mean, he's definitely the leader in the clubhouse.
I'm looking at the text now. You know who really grinds my gears?
Here we go.
John Kenzie Noel, for 2 unreasonable reasons. First, the improper placement of the letter H in his first name. So precious. Second, his nickname is Big Christmas. Signed, Santa George at work in Livonia.
See? Can't do that. Fringing on a holiday.
It's 1,000% Naylor, writes an unnamed texter. The guy looks like a gas station attendant. With all respect due to gas station.
Well, listen, we had a Pepsi delivery man was our catcher for years. We loved him.
Yeah, that's true. Jerry. When Rocchio got mad at himself for making it out in the last inning of Game 2, I was screaming at the TV, yelling to go back to the dugout. Definitely did it for me. That's from John in St. Clair Shores.
Oh, Kane called him out first. Who? Rocchio.
Yeah.
Rocchio. All right.
Kang, you are so right. I loathe Rocchio. Yo, Kang, I hate Fokio too. That's from Will in a Car.
These are definitive, by the way, right, guys? I mean, everything we're saying is, you know, spot on.
Yep. Hey, we know what it is. It's just what happens.
Hey.
They could do the same show in Cleveland
100%.
and find a way to.
You think they might not like Scooble?
Yeah.
You think Scooble's on their list?
When Scooble's like go after the game, he's like, "Yeah, I shouldn't have done it. The fans here are great." He was nothing but complimentary. But yeah, I'm sure they could do the same thing.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It is what it is. 248-539-9797. Coming up today at 12:30, we'll hear what Dan Campbell from the Detroit Lions had to say to our morning show, including his thoughts on the Tigers. Next hour, we'll hear from the play-by-play voice of the Lions, Dan Dickerson, here on Carson Anderson outside Comerica Park on 97.1 The Ticket. Driving on our Michigan roads can be tough, and with the winter season right around the corner, it's going to get tougher. Doug here, and I'm here to tell you that if you ever get into an accident, and I hope you never do, but if you want an attorney who specializes in auto law and cares, you want Michigan Auto Law. They specialize in only auto and truck accidents, and because of that, they've recovered more million-dollar auto accident results than any other law firm in Michigan. Check them out for yourself. They care more, so you win more. Michigan Auto Law. Auto accident attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com. All right, let's get into the game here a little bit. We've talked about the starting pitcher, Cater Montero, who has been very good for the Tigers against Cleveland in 2 appearances this year. Who knows what the plan is, how long they expect him to be out there. But he was good on Saturday. He was good earlier in the year. Threw a complete game 96-pitch shutout against Colorado not that long ago. So we'll see if he can be dialed in today. But if they need to go to the bullpen, wow, they've been reliable. I was trying to categorize the guys out of the bullpen today. Like, who are the guys that have been great as opposed to the guys who've been just very, very, very good?
Will Vest, Bo Brisky have been great.
I got one more on the list.
Well, fire it up.
I'm going to still go with Tyler Holton.
Yeah, I mean, it was a rough outing for him the other day. But that's the first rough outing he's had in, like, his last 20.
I still trust him.
I trust him.
Yep. So then you kind of get into the next group. These guys have just been very, very, very good.
Is that all?
Yep. Gunther, Gundog Millionaire.
Yep.
Hannafy.
Yep.
Hannafy.
Hannafy.
Jason Foley. But, I mean, it really feels like, I mean, part of it has to do with a really good job of the manager putting them in situations to be successful.
Well, it's a situation with this team that no matter who comes out of the bullpen and steps onto the pitcher's mound, I'm okay with it. You know,
Yep.
I don't cringe because somebody's coming in. I'm excited because I totally buy into what Hinch is doing, and there's a rhyme and reason to why this pitcher's coming in at this moment. It's not just, oh, crap, this guy's kind of sputtering out on the mound. We better get the right-handed pitcher warmed up. No, there's real logic and reason into doing what he does. I really think that there's like a laboratory that they go into after games to discuss, all right, now what are we going to do? And then it's just filled with computers and all this analytical stuff. And, you know, and then, of course, it's what they see and what they know with their own staff. And they put it together marvelously. It's worked for almost 2 months now. And while we have so much space between games, there's no reason to think that it won't continue to work. The pitching, anyway. Hitting's got to do their part. They got to score some runs.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they do, and you want to say that, and yet they've had success without scoring runs. I mean, they won a series and they won a game here. I mean, I guess it's such a small sample size. But of the teams left in the postseason, out of the 8 teams left, the Tigers have the fewest runs per game in the postseason at 2.75, and yet somehow they're 3-1 in the postseason. Right. And I think that comes back to if you're going to try and win this way, you have to win on the margins, and that is defense and base running. And the base running is being aggressive and taking chances, and they've taken some chances, but they're working more often than not, but they don't always work. I mean, that's the thing about being aggressive. I think every fan and every manager and everybody says, we're going to be aggressive. Well, the thing about being aggressive is it doesn't always work. If it worked, it would be conservative. Aggressive is taking chances. And the Tigers have been thrown out on the base paths on a number of occasions here in this postseason, but it's almost like they can't win if they don't try that stuff. Right. So you accept the risk. If Justin Henry Malloy is going to get thrown out trying to stretch a single into a double, which took a perfect play.
You sent him 100 out of 100 times.
Yes.
You'd tell him to go to second.
And yet, Noel made a spectacular play.
Great throw.
Forced them to make the spectacular play. When the ball got away from the catcher in Houston and Veerling tried to take second, it got thrown out. Okay, got it. Yep, happens. Parker Meadows didn't get the runner over when he tried to bunt the runner over in Houston. So now he's on first. They try to steal second with him to get the same result they would have had, and he gets thrown out. Yep, didn't work, but I feel like winning on the margins, you have to do that, and you have to be as good as they've been defensively. If you're not going to score runs, and maybe they will, because they haven't gotten much out of some pretty big hitters in this for them, what the bigger hitters are for the Tigers, guys like Green and Cole Keith and Torque to an extent. Like, if you're not going to get production out of them, how are you going to win games? You still got to try and find a way to win games, and that's winning on the margin.
Well, Mike, I agree with you. You have to do all those little things to give yourself a chance, and in the end, you still need to put together some hits. And what concerns me is that, I don't know, what have they played, 37 innings of baseball, 37 different at-bats there, and how many innings have they scored in? out of those? 4? 5
Yeah.
innings?
I think it's 4 innings that they
So
scored.
that's what's concerning to me, is that they need to put together more than just one inning at a time. Do it several innings in a game, and I'd feel more comfortable with it. Now, look, maybe I'm just getting accustomed also to being uncomfortable this entire time.
Yeah.
The pit in your stomach is always going to feel the way that it feels because the Tigers do, as you say, live in those margins. They play on the line there, and it's a tough way to go, but they've embraced it, and it's been a winning formula to the tune of being the best team in baseball since August 11th.
So it's funny because obviously this team has really done a great job. Like all throughout the season when they were struggling and A.J. Hinch would go on our morning show and the guys would try and talk big picture with him, he'd say, I haven't given it much thought because it doesn't help us win today's game.
Yep.
Back when they were 9 games under. And there were tough questions to be asked of A.J. Hinch. And he'd say, it doesn't help us win today's game. And then when they started having success, and they absolutely had some success, how are you doing this? How are you going to keep this up? Guys, it doesn't help us win today's game, right? He kept saying that over and over.
And what do I say, Doug?
Well, Gator's come up with a phrase here that I think might catch on in sports. Gator really is starting to believe that you really take them one at a time.
One game at a time.
And I think this is it's a cutting-edge approach.
Thank you.
We've heard about how analytics have taken the game over.
I don't really like math.
No, and the analytics guys have really dug their claws into this. But we've got Gator, and it's one game at a time approach.
One game at a time.
Yep. So, you can choose whatever you want. If you want to go analytics, you can, or you can side with Gator, and it's all about.
Sounds like A.J. Hinch sides with me.
One game at a time. But if we get out of the one game at a time space, and it's funny because, and it might apply to this series, I really do feel like we know what this team is offensively. They're probably just not going to be a juggernaut. It's not likely to happen. Just keep up with doing enough. We know what Scooble is. We know what the bullpen is. Here's what I think the wild card in this whole thing is. I think it's Reese Olson.
It could be.
Because to me, Reese Olson, I think when Reese Olson is good, this team is adding another starting arm that does 2 things. It can win you a game, and it can rest a bullpen.
Well, when he gets up there in the first inning of Game 1, after Holton exits the game, and the first pitch, they jump him on the first pitch, and they hit a 3-run homer.
Yep.
2 of those runs get charged to Holton, and the other one gets charged to Reese Olson. What does he do after that? That's what's important to me. 5 shutout innings after that.
Yep.
He was great after that. And you go back to thinking, and it's a long time to go back to when Reese Olson was healthy in the first half of the season. But when you go back and think about that, he was really freaking good. Reese Olson was good, Jack Flaherty was good, and Tarek Skubal was Tarek Skubal. And they had a pretty good rotation at that point, but they had the worst offense in baseball at that point too. Well, the pitching is somehow kept it together despite not having a rotation. And the defense has stepped up and been one of the better defenses in baseball. And now you've got an offense in the second half of the season that went all the way up to average. Just be average. And the other stuff, if you're elite in the other stuff, it takes care of itself. And that's the formula that's worked for this team and continues to work. Is this what I expect them to go with next year? Nope. I think they're going to have a regular rotation next year. But it's good to know that if things go south, they've got something back to rely on, which is the experience from this year and how to approach things with a full pitching staff.
I really appreciate you getting out of your comfort zone, because that is a zoom-out 30,000-foot view, because A.J. Hinch said the only 2 pitchers that aren't available today are Skubal and Olson. So it's obviously has nothing to do with your one-game-at-a-time philosophy that the term you've coined. But
one game.
One game.
One game. Today's the game.
Has little to do with it, but
I told the same thing to Dan Campbell.
Did you?
Well, I mean, I've said it in his presence. I don't know if he heard me.
Fair enough. Now, if they have to, the question is, if they have to win a high-scoring game, because I've talked about in this series, given these bullpens, it feels to me like it's a race to 1. And it's the first team that scores has such an advantage because they turn a lead over to a bullpen, and the other team knows now But if they happen to get into a high-scoring affair, that's when you got to hope that Colt Keith breaks out, that Riley Green, maybe a little bit more expected than Colt Keith, if Riley Green breaks out, that Torque breaks out. It's funny because there's I feel a lot of anxiety towards Torque right now for the fans, and I'm not there. I feel like, okay, yep, stick with him.
Well, because we've seen him do it. We've seen him hit 30 home runs like he did last year, and we know that he's got the power. It comes in bunches, and we haven't seen a ton of it this year, but it can, that switch can go off at some point, and boom, we got it. But you're spot on when you talk about. I don't expect shootout games between these two teams.
No.
The bullpens, Cleveland literally has the best. I mean, statistically, I should say, has the best bullpen in baseball for the entire season. For the entire season, the Tigers' bullpen ERA, I believe, is 5th for the entire season. Now, if you just wanted to extrapolate what's happened over the last couple months, it shoots up a bunch of spots there. But their earned run averages as a team from a bullpen standpoint, 5th. Their WHIP, walks plus hits per innings pitched, from a bullpen standpoint, 2nd. Both behind Cleveland.
Okay, let's get to what Dan Campbell told the morning show, including his thoughts on this Tiger team. That is straight ahead at 12:32. It's the Tigers and the Guardians, Game 3 of the ALDS, and you'll hear it here on 97.1 The Ticket. Well, out here at Comerica Park and Kang Gator, I just met a bit of a kind of a guy who's infamous on the show. I just met Steve, who bought a truck in Missouri.
Oh, did you?
Yes. Steve. And for people who missed the story, he was driving to a game in Houston last week.
Steve want to buy us a space heater? No?
Steve's driving to a game in Houston. He's got tickets. His car breaks down in the middle of nowhere, Missouri. He gets it towed to a dealership. They can't get it fixed. He's going to miss the game he has tickets to. He's nowhere near a rental car place. So he bought a new truck.
One would do.
As one would do, yes. He bought a new truck and drove the rest of the way. And I said to him, you're going to get talked about. And I said, you, in fact, authentically had already just come up on the show today when we saw that this was considered the 8th best home field advantage of the 8 remaining teams.
Hey.
Which I think the people here will try and prove that wrong today. But
nowhere to go but up.
Our guy Steve, just met him. What a pleasure. Yes, Kitech, he does still have the truck. I'm looking up on Twitch. He still has a truck. He drove it down here today. His old truck is still getting fixed in Missouri. He's got to go back. I think he said he's going back Thursday to get it. So, legend move. A guy, pure legend. All right. So, every Tuesday, although this week it was Wednesday because of the bye week kind of messed everything up, Dan Campbell joined the morning show. And we like to bring you the most interesting stuff that he had to say. And we'll start with this. Can the head coach of the Lions make it to a Tiger game? Here's what he had to say.
Remember in the offseason listening to it, and what's wrong with the Tigers and these guys, they don't know what they're doing, and why aren't they trading this guy and all the crap. And I just know when you're in this profession, man, just let it play out. And those guys are going to work it, and they're trying to get better, they're trying to improve, and here they are, man, the underdogs that just continue to battle and fight, and it just won't go away. And I am rooting hard for these guys, man. I hope they take it all the way.
So there's a couple things there. One is I absolutely love that now a phrase and a term that just really does get to the core of what Detroit's all about, grit, has become a rallying cry for our teams, and it's working. It started with Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes and their approach it with the Lions, and now these guys over here have start calling themselves the Gritty Tigers, and I just love it. And Dan Campbell, the fact that like that, what you heard there was genuine, right?
Yeah.
Like we know Dan Campbell as much as you can know him in jobs in the media, but like that was genuine. That was genuine excitement about what the Tigers are doing.
Yeah, well, because it is. I mean, look, when he got here, Lions were in shambles, Tigers were going nowhere, and the Red Wings and the Pistons were spinning their wheels too. And to see the teams grow the way that they have, obviously the Tigers have done tremendous growth. 66 wins to 77 wins to 86 or whatever it's been. It's a nice climb over 3 years, and the Lions did their climb for the first 3 years, and hopefully the fourth year is going to be even better. The Red Wings have they've gotten better each and every year. And we are hoping that the Pistons can kind of find their way here with a core of players and a new coach, and there's a whole new kind of energy about them. And, yeah, I'm going to be positive about that too. But, baseball and football drive this town. We know when the hockey is good, it's hockey town.
Yep.
We love it, right? But
Yep.
it's not. It doesn't feel like it's got the same amount of drive to it that baseball does, because it's 162 games. It's twice as many games as you see in a hockey season, and you're just so invested. And it's a big payoff for the fans that have stood by this team for the years. And I think that's something that Dan Campbell can appreciate, because he's done the same thing with the Lions.
I also feel like we should thank Dan for listening when he said, I heard all the talk in the offseason. Why these guys don't know what they're doing, and why don't they trade this guy? And I'm like, ooh, He was listening at the trade deadline.
Somebody else is checking receipts. Learning that from Brad Holmes.
Yeah. And then, it's funny because they give on the morning show, they give Jansen a hard time for the phrase "let it play out."
Yeah.
But he said, I know in this business, let it play out. You know what all let it play out means? All let it play out means I think there's a good chance that this is going to change. That's all.
Well,
That's all it is. It's not good now. And when things are bad in sports, it feels like they're never going to be good. And when things are good in sports, it feels like you're never going to lose again.
When Gibby called into the morning show a couple months ago, and that kind of went viral for a moment, right? It was he saw some positives in the team that other people didn't want to see. And Kirk sees things through a different prism. And yet, in the end, he's got to be feeling pretty good about himself because a lot of that ended up panning out. Should we all have felt that way about it? I don't think so. But, I could respect his opinion on it, seeing things that we don't see, because he can see the work that's done in behind the scenes. He knows people like Tram that work with these players out on the field, and he knows the coaching staff, and and they can tell you, look, it's going to happen at some point because we're doing the things we need to do, and then eventually that happened. It just kind of clicked, and offensively it worked. They went from first to third. They did all these little things that you talk about playing in the margins, and the pitching has been spectacular, and it's been done in a way that nobody in the history of the game has ever done before. And it's out of necessity, but it's also out of logic and reason based on the numbers that they see. And it's fantastic to see all this come out. And yet, you bring up the point about Reese Olson coming back. Cato Montero's pitching today. Are they starting to get back to really the conventional way that you can do things? Now, that happens only if Reese Olson goes 6 innings and Cato Montero goes 6 or 7 innings, and Skubal does that, and you got your 3 guys to pitch in the postseason. Everybody else can contribute. I don't suspect we're there yet, but I do like the fact that Reese Olson went 5 innings of shutout baseball after he gave up the home run. I do like that Montero pitched 2 or 3 innings the other night of shutout baseball, that maybe they can get back to getting a bulk outing from some of these guys.
Well, the one thing that Montero brings to the table in this start today is he is a guy that they would leave in beyond 2 innings. He might just be an opener, but he has the potential to be more than that. So,
are you heating up right now?
I am heating up. It is, well, you see, it's as soon as the sun moves over, you said it earlier, it's 20 degrees difference.
It's at least 20 degrees difference.
I might start peeling off more layers. You never know. So 248-539-9797. All right, Dan Campbell had a lot more to say. We'll get to that coming up, like what Frank Ragnow means to this team. And let me tell you something. The story he had to tell about Ragnow trying to prove he was good to go is pretty funny. Another player that could play a bigger role here with the Detroit Lions coach said, but we'll get back to the Tigers in the 1 o'clock hour here on Carson Anderson on 97.1 The Ticket. Hey, if you got a leaky foundation that's putting your home at risk, it's time to call Brickworks Property Restoration. They'll assess your foundation, pinpoint the source of the problem, and give you a custom solution to keep your home dry and safe. I get it. Unexpected repairs, they can be a hassle. Brickworks makes it easier with 0% financing for 12 months or low monthly payments to fit just about any budget. They are locally owned and operated. Don't wait. Visit brickworksmi.com for a free quote. That's brickworksmi.com. Your experts in foundation repair, brick restoration, tuck pointing, chimney services, and more, because nobody works like Brickworks.
Got a steady flow, man. Steady flow.
Congratulations. Of people coming in. I'm sorry. It's always good.
A prostate's been good for a while. I don't have an issue with that. We're good.
Hey, it's good. You don't need to share, but I mean, if you want to.
When you can, you do.
Yeah. Go ahead, brag.
No, it's the steady flow of a crowd on either side of his north and south side of the street we're on. What is this? Witherall, Montcalm? What are we? We're on Witherall.
Yeah, pretty much near the corner of Witherall, Montcalm.
Oh, we are on Witherall. Yes,
right
in front of the stadium.
We've been here for like 10 years doing shows for this.
I know, but I always forget what street this is.
Yeah.
But if only there was a sign that could show me what it is. Right there in the corner.
There's a lot of people, and Gator had a great visit to the Porta-John during the commercial break. 248-53.
I did not.
All right.
I mean, my flow is fine, but yeah.
We'll get back to some Tiger stuff, and we played Dan Campbell talking about what this Tiger team has done and how much he is into it, and he make no mistake about it. You could tell that was authentic. He is into it. Here's more from Dan Campbell in the morning show. Frank Ragnow is back practicing. He talked about what he means to the team and told a great story about how he tried to prove that he's healthy from his torn pec and can come back.
Frank, man, as we all know, I mean, this guy, he's a throwback as they get. I mean, he will play through any injury, and he will will himself to go, and he's always going to look. As with anybody, here we go in week 4, and you played a number of years. You're never going to feel like you were when you were 21 again, and they understand that. He understands it, and I know that I walked, this was last week, actually almost right before Seattle, and I walked down there to go talk to our trainer, and somebody punches me against the wall, and I'm not even paying attention because I'm looking at our trainer, and I keep walking, and then I get punched again, and I realize it's Frank, and he's trying to show me that his pec is great. All right, so that's his way of telling me, look how strong I am. It's good. It's healed. So he's in a good mindset. He's ready, and he wants to go.
So Frank Ragnow was saying it's real and it's spectacular. That's what I took out
his
of that.
pec.
Yeah. That's the toughest man alive.
I mean, kind of.
I mean, one of them, right?
He's been hurt forever.
I love the story that he's punching the coach.
Yeah.
Like, you can only punch the coach if, you have got a certain relationship with the coach. And by the way, the coach is a big, tough guy, too. And can handle it. I'd love to see that, where Dan Campbell's locked in on something else, and here's this little pesky gnat of 6'5", 310-pound Frank Ragnow punching your arm. Would you stop it, kid? Let me. Oh, hey, Frank.
Right.
That's good to go, Coach. Yeah, we'll keep you out this week, but I understand.
It's absolutely fantastic, and having him back this week's a big deal. Although
it's big.
I think the offensive line did a fine job in his absence. You always want to have your best players out there, including this absolute stud, and make no bones about it. He is. All right, so we all saw it. We've seen more of Tim Patrick, and Dan Campbell was asked about Tim Patrick emerging here a little bit for this Detroit Lions offense, and here is what Dan Campbell had to say.
He brings a skill set, a demeanor, the size, everything that is something we don't have in there. And, the mindset of the way he is, he grinds on and he's tough, he's physical, but he does got this big catch radius. He's kind of a sneaky run after catch guy. And I think there's room here to really, to expand a little bit with him. We all do on offense, and so I think this guy is. I think he's going to help us. And I think he's beginning to help us. So we're excited about him. Look, we're excited about Allen Robinson too. And I know he hasn't gotten the opportunities yet, but we know we're going to need him. And he's going to the games right now, and it's going to come up. But both of those guys really fit us.
So a couple things when you say fit us. I think that's the stuff that doesn't show up in the stats. When they talk about fit.
Oh, 100%. It doesn't show up in the stats.
I think they are scoping personalities. They are scouting, whether or not they're going to fit. And he made that point twice in that soundbite about how they fit what's going on here. And it's part of something that I don't know if it's underrated or overrated. I do know this. The culture's changed, and it feels like a big part of that is they look at more than just your talent. They want to know that there's going to be little rocking of the boat and a willingness to do whatever's asked.
Right, like you have to. Pizza's good today. Look, you're going to want to know that the guy's going to be able to step in and not rock the boat, that they're going to be willing to sacrifice what it takes to be as good as this team is. And when he brings it up again today, you know what that tells me as we enter week 5 here? It tells me that the free agents that are still out there looking for jobs at positions of perhaps need, like defensive end, that they're extraordinarily selective about that because of fit.
Yep.
Okay, so you might see a name you really like, and doesn't this make sense? Well, not to them, because they want to have the right guys here. Now, what does that portend for a few weeks from now when we get to the trade deadline? I still think it means the same thing it did last year. They're going to be extraordinarily selective about who they bring into the fold.
All right, finally, Dan Campbell with the morning show talked about Terrion Arnold and the rookie and the penalties, and it's gotten much discussion, certainly, and understandable, like, got it. Yeah, he's in the position to make some plays, but he keeps getting flagged. How much of an issue is it? Well, here's Dan Campbell when asked about it on the morning show.
Yeah, we do. We do. It's something we talked about. As a matter of fact, we had our big practices yesterday. I think first down, full pass practice, a little longer. And we had one-on-ones in there, competitive. And that's what those are for. And those are to work your craft and really get hone in on your skill and get better at it. And work 9 twos, and that's one of the areas that's why we do one-on-ones. We're playing man coverage, and how can you get in position to make a play on the ball without drawing a flag, and without it being. And so much of it too is getting crafty with it, right? I mean, there's going to be this give and take that goes down if you're competing with a receiver, but you got to compete for the ball, and then you got to get to where you don't. You may be batting on it, and you may be fighting, but you don't see it all the time because you're pretty efficient with it. But how do you use your hands? So it's a point of emphasis, and he's going to be fine. We just keep working through it, and he knows what it is, but we also need him to continue to compete and challenge on the perimeter.
So there it is. That is Dan Campbell talking about Terrion Arnold, who's been a bit of a flashpoint for fans. So let's get back to the Tigers here. And, Gator, you asked a question in your show sheet. Do you think the Tigers are in any way in Cleveland's head? What made you ask that question?
They knocked out the best pitcher in the bullpen for any team in baseball.
They rattled them with that?
I'm just saying, and it goes back to it was the inning prior. Wenzel Perez had a nice at-bat against him, lined a ball that may or may not have been a base hit. They called it out. And then they come up in the next inning with 2 outs, and undeterred, Jake Rogers, base hit. Undeterred, Trey Sweeney, base hit, runners on the corners. Undeterred, Kerry Carpenter, seeing 100-mile-an-hour pitches and saying, that's okay, I'll get this eventually. And then they throw 3 straight sliders. He throws 3 straight sliders, and he launches it into the right field seats for a win for the Tigers. That guy is thought of as untouchable.
Yeah.
And they didn't just get a hit. They hit the ball hard against him, and then they hit it out against him. I don't know if it's going to rattle Cleveland or not, but I got to believe that at least for a second they're like, oh, crap, that just happened. What?
Yeah.
Off a Class A?
Yeah, it's interesting because you think.
Just like I think if they got into Tarek Skubal, I think they would feel the same way.
That's a valid point. How would we feel if they beat Skubal, and they beat Skubal, like they scored their runs off Skubal? It'd be pretty rattling. And they've got this trump card that they just slap down at the end of every game that's been so reliable for them.
Deadly. Lethal.
Yeah. Pretty remarkable. Interesting question. I guess we'll find out a little bit if they look listless today. I mean, Jim Leland wouldn't subscribe to that.
No, I can't chew on yesterday's breakfast. Not going to worry about it. They play good baseball. It's so fun what it sounds. It's like, whatever. You get up and do it again.
I didn't catch all of that, but the Leland to English translation of that is you can't chew yesterday's breakfast.
That's right.
And if he were managing the Guardians, he'd be telling them not to chew, yesterday's breakfast.
It's like, yuck, throw it in the garbage.
That is correct.
Tough to do when it's that guy.
All right, Carson Anderson, Dan Dickerson, play-by-play voice of the Detroit Tigers. His thoughts on this game today, this series, and what's happened so far. Coming up next here on 97.1 The Ticket. Hey, get ready to tackle NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. So we got a Thursday night game this week. Go find yourself a prop bet, and they have alternate spreads. Do DK Metcalf over 25 yards receiving or something like that, Kenneth Walker over 10 yards rushing, and you won't get a big return, but you bet your $5 and you get the $300 in bonus bets. Bam, just like that. Just visit FanDuel.com/Doug. That's FanDuel.com/Doug. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or over and present in Michigan. First online, real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. We are outside of Comerica Park prior to Game 3 of the ALDS. Tigers and Guardians. Winner takes a 2-1 lead. Tigers got the next two games at home. Detroit guaranteed 2 home games here, which is freaking awesome. And what a win on Monday. Kerry Carpenter coming through in the 9th inning with a 2-out, 2-strike home run after the best closer in the game. And Gator brought it up early. Did it maybe rattle the Guardians? Because this is the one thing they could count on. Think about how we would feel if they touched up Scooble. It's the most reliable thing that Detroit has and the biggest asset they have going into this postseason. Imagine if they'd roughed up Scooble. And here the Tigers go out and do something that hasn't been done in 83 appearances in over a year on the calendar, and that is get 3 earned runs off Class A. It's incredible.
Yeah, that just happened.
It just did.
That happened. And, it could have been, Dan Dickerson talking about it regarding Wenzel Perez. It could have been Wenzel Perez that got a timely hit off him that would have driven in the first run of the game. It didn't, and it didn't matter because next inning they took care of business.
All right, let's get back to your phone calls. We go to Ned. You're next on 97.1 A Ticket. Hello, Ned.
Doug, Gator.
What's up, Ned?
What's up, guys? Hey, listen. Gator, I just want to say first, I would love to hear a Jim Leland interview between you and Doug. That would be hilarious. That was crazy. I was dying laughing when he did that a little while ago. That was like A+ impression, man.
When they had the Leland retirement ceremony, what was it, the next day they went on the big run? Wasn't it literally the next day?
Shortly thereafter, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was
Leland's got.
Anyway, I was in Oakland when they lost in 13 innings, and ever since that day, they've been I think they were 19-2 the rest of the way, or 19-4, not including the 2 last White Sox games. But anyway, the reason I'm calling is because, first of all, I called about a month ago. Last time I talked to you guys, said, "How about them Tigers? How about them Tigers, boys? Oh my God!"
Nice.
I got to tell you, this has been one of the most. We've done this for a long time. I don't know that there's ever been anything this stunning in terms of just out of left field.
Big time out of left field. And the Kerry Carpenter home run, I was screaming so loud in my house, my kids were sleeping and just woke up and started screaming. It was nuts. But and as far as what I called about was the psyche that getting to Class A has on the team, and I think it's going to ripple through the bullpen. I think that it's going to ripple through their lineup. I think that, when stuff like that happens, it puts added pressure on the bullpen. Like, oh man, now how are we going to attack these guys? And not only that, but it puts pressure on. I mean, we shut out Cleveland that whole game. It puts pressure on the batters because now they got to score. They're thinking, hey, we got to get runs because this team can attack any one of our pitchers. So we got to have runs on the board. So I think the pressure has totally shifted. Game 2, I felt like the pressure was on Detroit, and they rose to the challenge. And I think all the pressure is on Cleveland now, and I think we can go into these 2 games at home relaxed and just keep attacking. And hopefully we'll I'll talk to you guys again during an ALCS game.
Oh,
that'd be great.
That'd be wonderful. The thing about it is we're kind of in a strange place where both teams are probably thinking, maybe not the Tigers, but both teams might be thinking, let's make sure we get one of the next 2, because the Tigers would have to feel great with Skubal going into Game 5, and the Guardians have to be thinking, just let's get it back home. Now, with that said, if we're going to go big picture thinking, and the ultimate goal is to win today's game, and we don't want to confuse it, but if you're going to go big picture thinking, one of the ways a scrappy team like this gets the job done is maximizing Skubal starts. So if you win the next 2, you got Skubal going Game 1 of an American League Championship Series. It's not as if you've got Scherzer and Verlander and David Price or something like that lined up, right?
Well, this team doesn't know any better.
No, they don't.
And I think that's the key. That's the magic with this whole team is that they don't know any better.
They don't.
They're just going out there and playing baseball. These guys. Half this team,
right?
half this roster are rookies. So they're like, we're just doing what we're doing. There is no pressure on these guys. They don't know what pressure is. And good for A.J. Hinch for not telling them about it. Yeah, just do what you do, man. You guys do what you do. You see the results, and it's what's happened so far.
Yeah, well, look, it's been an incredible run, Ned, and thank you for calling. And certainly we hope it keeps going, and there's no reason it can't. The way this group has been playing. They have not come out with a Tiger lineup yet.
Yes, they have.
Oh, they have?
Oh, well, a while ago, yeah.
Okay. I'm on their Twitter page where they usually tweet it out, and I don't see it. So, do you got it?
I saw it. I think Bally's had it tweeted out. If you wanted to look there.
Is there anything that surprised you?
No, it's just a heavily left-handed lineup. I believe Torkelson's hitting 7th. You got Verlander at 3rd and Perez in right.
Yeah, okay, so Parker Meadows leading off, Kerry Carpenter hitting 2nd, Matt Vierling hitting 3rd, Riley Green hitting 4th, Wenzel Perez hitting 5th, Cole Keith hitting 6th, Spencer Torkelson 7th, Trey Sweeney 8th, and Jake Rogers 9th. Jake Rogers, did you see the story in The Athletic about Jake Rogers?
I did not.
He basically said this guy's become Detroit's cult hero.
I mean, I feel like there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I think it's, as much as I want to agree with that, because he kind of isn't most of this team that way? Like Tyler Holton's that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, bullpen
Go down the
arms.
line.
If I had to pick one, I think I would go with Jake Rogers.
Wow. I mean, Jake's he's managing this staff, doing a great job with it, framing his pitches, and coming up with a timely hit when you need him to. That's Jake Rogers.
All right, we will hear from the man that quarterbacks our Detroit Lions. We're going to run down Jared Goff's high school baseball stats with him. Straight ahead, Carson Anderson outside Comerica Park. 97-1 the ticket. All right, Twin Peaks fans, got some news for you. Bourbon and Brews is back for the fall. Every Wednesday, your favorite Twin Peaks girls will be dressed to impress in their finest black lingerie, serving up samples, special bourbons and beers. Stop into your favorite lodge from 5 to 7 a night to sample your Irish whiskey favorites. You can even try one of their Irish mules. Also enjoy their beer of the month, New Belgium's Voodoo Ranger Juicy Haze. What's better than beautiful Twin Peaks girls and some awesome drinks? How about pairing that with scratch-made food? As far as restaurants go, they can compete with just about anybody. Hand-cut New York strips, house-smoked ribs, and brisket, and the best wings in the state. If you had their wings, they're hand-cut and battered to order in all their boneless wings. Smoked wings, naked, breaded, whatever you want. They'll tackle any appetite. It's amongst the biggest you'll see. And what pairs well with wings? Football and postseason baseball. Twin Peaks should be your destination for sports all season long. They deliver the best game day atmosphere apart from actually being at the game. Game audio, 50-plus TVs, and the best food and drinks in the state. Ask your Twin Peaks girls for awesome drink specials during every football game. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views.
I don't think the Athletics ready for the 8th place team.
I got to tell you, I think it's important that we let everybody know that the Athletic ranked the Detroit Tigers home field advantage as the 8th best of the eight remaining teams in the playoffs. And
Saying.
I got to tell you, this fan base, it's starting to get a little wild out here.
I think so.
It's starting to get a little wild.
Yep,
People are ready. And you know what? What it really is, it's the release of pent-up energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's frustration through the years. It's a chance to participate. It's
a lot of frustration.
Yes. And as it stands right now, I think this city is going to explode. Alan Trammell's throwing out the first pitch. There are going to be white towels on every seat for the fans to wave. So a great opportunity for Detroit to show out today. And, I think you're right. I think the Athletic might have to take a look at those rankings when it's all said and done.
Well, let's hope the crowd makes a difference today. Tigers come out winners.
Yep.
That'll be great. Cater Montero on the hill.
Yep.
Don't know if he goes 2 innings, if he goes 7 innings, if he goes 9 innings, Doug. We just don't know.
We don't know.
We know what he's capable.
Yeah.
He did have a complete game this year.
Well, it's kind of wild, right? Because we know that this is one of those days where the starter is Johnny Holstaff. But Montero's the one guy that could basically say, no, hey, I got this, guys.
Right.
He's one of the very few that can basically do that and just do it all by himself. But, the Tigers, big game today down at here at Comerica Park.
This is a great day where you can wear orange pants. You can wear loud-ass orange pants and get away with it.
Yes.
Because why not?
You fit right in, sir.
Yes.
You fit right in.
Saw the guys wearing the orange tuxedos.
Yeah.
The Dumb and Dumber tuxedos. Hell yeah.
What's that?
Hell yeah. What?
What's the Dumb and Dumber tuxedos?
Yeah.
Did they wear tuxedos?
You didn't see Dumb and Dumber?
I saw about half of it.
I don't know. Why am I not surprised? I don't know why I'm still surprised. I shouldn't be. Yes, they wore tuxedos, and one of them was an orange tuxedo.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Nothing should surprise you.
With ruffles.
No. Kang back in our studios. Buddy, I wish you could be down here, man. It is a wild, wild scene.
It sounds fantastic. Did you say white towels earlier, by the way, Doug?
Yes.
Rika posted a picture. It looks like orange towels. There's boxes and boxes of orange towels.
I was told they'd be white, but I guess it doesn't matter.
No, it's going to be
There'll
loud.
be towels on the seats. There'll be towels on the seats, yeah. It's going to be an absolute zoo. Now, Kang, I got to ask you a question because we talk to people, and how much are your daughters aware of this and into it?
Oh, they're very aware because they want to come home and watch their shows, and Daddy's watching baseball, so they're aware it's on. And they were like, all right, let me know when it's over, Dad, so I can watch my show.
So these are impressionable ages. There's no, they're not getting into it just yet?
She likes it when we celebrate. That's the part she likes it. So basically, let me know when we celebrate, and we get to,
okay.
Get up and flex and yell. And then I tell her
that's her thing. Huh?
Yeah, and then we boo Rocchio. That's what we do.
We boo Rocchio.
That's how it works.
We do not like Rocchio. Hysterical. What a great answer to that question. By the way, when it was all said and done, what was the number one answer you think that came in on Ticket Text for the most annoying Guardian player?
Without question, it was the gas station attendant, Josh Naylor. One text came in and said he's built like a septic tank. The other one looks like he's a bowling pin upside down. Your resident softball player. I mean, they were relentless.
I can't comment on appearance. I feel like that shouldn't be right.
Well,
but I understand.
Yeah, it's what happens.
Perhaps
it's
more
what
than
happens
anybody knows.
In the postseason when you see the same opponent over and over and over again. That's kind of what happens. So you just get sick of them for whatever reason. Yes, confirmed orange towels, I guess, inside Comerica Park, not white ones. So thank you, Kang, for the correction. Tigers with Montero and a lineup facing a bunch of left-handed bats against Alex Cobb. 37-year-old righty, hard to figure out. 3 starts in 16 innings pitched so far this year. He's had an arm issue. He had a nail that kept him out. He had a blister that limited his starts. So it's just kind of weird. You don't know what to expect. It's funny because that's kind of unconventional for them as well. It's unconventional for us because we don't know what's going to happen.
No, you don't, but it's all good.
All right, back in our studios, we've got Mike and Rico joining us here on 97.1 The Ticket. Guys, how we doing?
Gentlemen,
It's a zoo
Who
down here.
disrespected us with this home
don't know.
field
What-
advantage thing? What
Athletic.
idiots wrote that we had the 8th best, essentially the
Athletic.
worst in the
Athletic
place?
did.
Okay,
It was the
I hope they
Athletic.
go out of business.
I really
don't
like.
don't worry. We'll show them today. 8th best. My balls. You're out of your mind.
Well,
That
here's
place
what's
is going to
crazy,
be an
Mike.
absolute snake pit today.
You know a lot more about like Philly, the Mets, Yankee Stadium. I mean, those
Yeah.
are pretty good atmospheres, right?
No, it's Yankee Stadium's a doctor's office. It's awful.
Oh, okay.
No,
All right.
seriously, Doug. It's not raucous. It's not anything. Yankee Stadium is sterile. You may as well have a bunch of people just waiting for their colonoscopy. So, no,
Oh, wow.
Comerica it has been like no other baseball stadium I've been in.
well,
That
I
place
think maybe
is
it's
nuts.
because, you know what, there haven't been jam-packed crowds down there for a while, so that may be why you're sitting at 8. It'll change.
that has
Well,
nothing to
wouldn't
do
that
with
be
it.
why it
That
should be
has-
sitting closer to the
Thank
top
you,
because
Gator.
we've been pent up and waiting for this.
Right. Listen, Rico, just call it what it is. It's a lazy article by The Athletic. Shocker.
The Athletic does great in-depth
I do like The
articles.
Athletic.
Good. Good for them. Well, this article sucks.
I would expect this from Sports Illustrated, not the Athletic.
Yeah, just like another has-been like USA Today. Look, bottom line is this place is going to be nuts, and the fans will be a factor, and this is one of the best cities in America for sports. These people are going to come one step short of ripping people's heads off.
Let's not do that. Let's just
I
enjoy
said
the game.
one step short. Relax,
How about we
Francis.
make it 5 steps? Just don't even cross
Nope.
that line.
One step.
Because you're
Get
one
right
free,
up to
you're
that
one-
line.
You're one daiquiri away from crossing the line.
That's right, but I'm not crossing it. I'm just looking at the line. These people are going to be awesome today.
Guys,
Awesome.
what do you got planned coming up next?
Probably make fun of the Athletic a little bit more and get psyched for the game. Get ready to roll. This is something we've waited a long time for, and I think people are going to deliver, and I think the team will deliver. I'm excited.
Well, we are too. Getting set to head in. Thanks to our crew down here and Kang back in our studios. Kenny answering phones. Mike and Rico coming up next. Have a great day, everyone. Go Tigers. Stay safe and treat each other with respect. 97.1.
Brought to you by Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's a 3:08 first pitch this afternoon as the Tigers host the Guardians at Comerica Park, their first home playoff game in over 10 years. A.J. Hinch has submitted the following lineup card. Parker Meadows will lead it off and play center field. He's recorded a single hit in each postseason game he's played in so far. Kerry Carpenter at DH bats second, coming off that big 3-run home run the other day. Matt Vierling will hit third at third. Riley Green starts the middle of the order, hitting cleanup and left. Wenzel Perez hits fifth and right. Colt Keith will bat sixth at second base today. Spencer Torkelson begins the bottom of the order and playing first base. Trey Sweeney hitting eighth at short, and Jake Rogers will round it out and catch today. Cater Montero will start his first postseason game after coming in relief duty in Game 1. Instead, he didn't hang his head after being left off the wildcard roster. The Guardians counter with Alex Cobb. Cobb has been a bit of a journeyman in his 13-year MLB career, but this just his third postseason appearance. He had 2 with the Rays in 2013. Here coverage right here on 97.1 The Ticket at 2:40. Aaron Rodgers responded to the rumors that he contributed to Jets head coach Robert Saleh's firing yesterday. He said he resents any of those accusations because they are false. After the various criminal charges against former Michigan football player Jabril Peppers surfaced Monday, the NFL has placed him on the commissioner's exempt list. He's not allowed to practice or attend games with the Patriots. At the Corwell Health Sports Desk, I'm Jeremy Otto. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
Welcome in, welcome all. Today's going to be a bloodbath. Let's get after it. I'm excited. I'm excited because The Athletic has thrown a little chum in the water. So I have a PSA for everyone. You know, lots of times Rico will go door to door spreading the good word. Well, I'm going to spread a good word to you. You know somebody at the game, call them. Tell your friends. The Athletic thinks you're a horse bleep fan base. I want chaos. And by that I mean absolute noise. I want the stadium reverberating. I think today's going to be, Rico, you and I watch way too much sports. I know it's what we do for a living, but I mean, even by that standard, we watch way too much. Mm-hmm. There are very few home fields where I will sit up and go, okay, this is special. I need today, to be basically 2.5 hours of the Mo Bamba timeout at Penn State. Can we do that? Can we do that today? Can we do that?
I think it's going to be that, Mike. I think it's going to be a snake pit for the Guardians. I think that the fans have been waiting. If you want a snippet of what I think the crowd is going to be like, just go back to last year with the Lions, with that first playoff game at Ford Field, how raucous the crowd was. I think you're going to have that. You're going to go back to the days of old, back when the Tigers were good, between that 2006 to 2012 period of time where you actually had star players out on the field and the crowd showed up. They were loud, and they made it difficult for the other team to play. That's going to be today. So, yes, making the Detroit Comerica Park number 8, I'm thinking that's because whoever came here was like, oh, it was, early in the season, and they saw the Tigers playing, whoever, and said, oh, these people aren't that loud. Trust me,
call someone
that'll
who actually
change.
Covered the team. I mean, it's just lazy. I'm tired of it. Whatever, man. It's cool. We'll show them. I mean, the bottom line is this is a way better atmosphere than what Cleveland produces. I can tell you factually it's way better than what my Yankees produce. Kansas City shows out. I'm fine with that. Philly are animals. It doesn't count. They're actually not human. They're literal animals. They're Tyrannosaurus Rexes. So that's different. And don't sell me L.A. or San Diego. You can just get out of here with that.
No. Well, see, L.A. is different because that's actually a rowdy crowd. You just hope that you get back home in one piece if you go watch a game in L.A.
Well, if you wear a Niners hat, for sure. 248-539-9797. Let's get into it. A little abbreviated coverage before the game. Rico's guy on the mound. I know you're excited. You're a big Montero guy. Here's why I think this is tailor-made for you to win this game. First of all, you're not playing this game, Rico, with Kerry Carpenter on the bench. And you don't have to wait to find his spot. They're trotting out Cobb, a righty. They only have 2 lefties in the pen. My guess is, obviously, if you get a few runs early, none of what I'm going to say matters. But A, you do get to start early with your best hitter in the lineup. Second of all, they only got 2 lefties in the pen. So it's going to be interesting to see how Vogt plays this, because there's very good odds Carey's going to get multiple at-bats in the early to middle part of this game against righties. Now, how do you handle a lefty later? I'm glad I don't have to make that decision. I mean, Kerry Carpenter's basically had like 7 at-bats against lefties this year, but this is set up for them, Rico. It's right here. This is the control point in the series. The other day was about getting it back on track. Today's about taking command. And I feel like Alex Cobb, off simulated games, not rehabs, simulated games. He's been out a month with a blister.
Yep.
The guy's 1,000 years old. I think his birthday was the other day. He turned 37. It could be Bernie Lomax taped to a chair today for Cleveland. Am I wrong in my confidence level?
No, you shouldn't be wrong in your confidence level, especially coming off of that blister on his finger. You don't know exactly if he's going to have his A-plus stuff today. Look, he's got some good past performances, but that's not coming off of sitting out for a month. So you don't know where the rust factor is going to be. And if you're Detroit, man, take advantage of that early, score runs early, because, Mike, 1-0 is going to seem like 7-0 once that crowd kicks it in. So if you jump ahead, ball game.
You know, the other thing, Rico, look, here's the one thing, and for people going, well, look, we won last game. Right, 17 straight innings you haven't scored on the Guardians pitching staff. And that does include Matthew Boyd and this bullpen and Bybee. But when you look at the totality, one swing saved us from a lot of consternation and from being back against the wall. I'm just at a point, they're putting a righty out here. Alex Cobb in no way, shape, or form is supposed to pitch this game. But this is what happens when Shane Bieber dies. This is what happens when Gavin Williams had uneven performances. This is what happens when Tristan McKenzie's elbow is made of fettuccine. Like, you end up in a place like this. And, you know, again, you can say, well, right, we have one starter. But you're playing the game a different way.
Right there. No,
you know what I mean? It's a different formula.
Yes, because you know going in, we're going to spin the wheel, and we'll tell you who's going to be the starter this morning. Once AJ wakes up and says, you know what, I had a dream about ducks, so therefore it's going to be Montero's going to start. That's pretty much what it seems like it comes down to. Whereas, yeah, if you're Cleveland, this is a little bit of a pressure cooker, because you know you have to close this thing out in Detroit. You don't want to take it back to Game 5 in Cleveland and look at Detroit going out there with their ace again with Tarek Skubal. And if you're the Tigers, you just would like to win 2. You just need to win 1, and then it's Skubal time again.
Yeah, and again, the 2 lefties they can deploy, Tim Herron, Eric Sabrowski. It'll be interesting, because early on, if there's a spot, now it won't happen in the first inning. You're going to get Carpenter facing a righty. But let's say it's the second turn through the order. Cobb is against the ropes a little bit, couple of ducks on the pond, and it's the 4th. It's the 3rd. I could absolutely see Vogt pulling Cobb, and then you're in all-hands-on-deck bullpen mode. And then at that point, you got to leave Carp in against a lefty, right? So these are some of the, I say fun, but I know it's stressful. It's also the beauty of sports. These are the things I'm looking for. But I think, Rico, you nailed it. I think with this crowd, I think the fans are going to be awesome today. Critical. They can scratch a run or 2. I'm with you. 1-0 feels formidable. Based on if this place is anywhere the way I remember it from 06 and from 2012 and 13, if this place is 75, 80% of that, it is still the best baseball environment I've ever attended. Even as Kenny Rogers ruined my life. It's all there. So, no, I would love to hear from the people. What's your confidence level on it? Gorgeous fall day. Weather plays no role. We're good. Like, it's right here. You've got an opportunity to not have to go back to the hellhole in the 2-1-6. You have an opportunity to win this series right here, right now. And, oh, by the way, Rico received a missive from the war front from me yesterday. Guys, you may not be facing the Yankees. The Yankees look awful. I know their series is tied at 1, but just saying, it might be the Royals on the other side of this.
You know what?
Aaron Judge sucks.
And I know Detroiters don't care because they're so focused on the Tigers, Mike, but yeah, if the Yankees lose, it's like, who's having a more disappointing playoffs between, the Phillies, the Dodgers, or the Yankees? 3 perennial teams that you're like, well, if Detroit has to face any of those teams, man, it's not going to be good. This may really be breaking towards the Tigers' way if all 3 of those teams are eliminated.
You're winning the World Series. I've already ordered the T-shirts. I've even gotten Kenny one.
We're down.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, look, the magic that has preceded this team, the moments, that Kerry Carpenter home run, knowing Clase hadn't given up a homer to a lefty in a year. He hadn't given up a homer on his slider since 2022. That's 2.5 seasons. Mm-hmm. And you take him deep after, check my notes, yep, your 2 worst hitters in the lineup scratched out hits to extend it to even get Kerry to the plate. Guys, it's magical. You just roll with it.
Yeah.
Who's beating him? I don't know. I mean, do I think the Yankees offer the best opportunity to beat the Tigers? Yes. Both in a 7-game series, but also just from a talent standpoint. But if the Yankee talent is cratering, which I promise you, I watch every pitch of that. Today's going to be a long baseball day for me. If they don't turn this around and look better, no, there's no doubt. I don't care about what we talked about last week where I said, look, I think you get to the ALCS, but I got a hard time beyond it. No, I'll pick you to beat the Yankees. That's how bad Aaron Judge and Stanton, and that's how bad they look.
Wow.
But no one cares. Let's talk about today. What daiquiri are you going with?
No, but I do think that the Tigers fans really do care because, let's face it, now that you've taken one and you're coming back here and it looks like you're going on to that. It feels as if you're going to the next round. You're starting to potentially look at other teams. And yeah, we both said it's probably going to end with the Yankees. If it's the Royals, Mike, we got to come back and we got to come up with a whole new show.
There's no new show. You're going to the World Series, and I've already got a spot rented out for the parade.
Mike, it's called drama. I was trying to build up drama.
Nah, there's no drama. There's no. You know what it is? It's like a Disney movie. There's no drama because Disney's writing the ending, and it's going to be happy. There's no drama. This isn't like watching the movie Heat. That's drama.
Hey, Bambi's mother died. Okay, so
she wasn't a good person.
Wow.
Well, but it could be a Disney.
I heard
movie.
she was a Michigan fan.
Oh my gosh!
Well, was she yelling at the Husky fans in the stands? Michigan's going to handle that internally, by the way, so don't worry about it.
They told Bambi's mama, you keep talking that ish, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah, mess around, find out.
We'll handle that as a program. Carry on. David, you were about to say something.
Because it could be Disney. It could be a Disney-type movie because in '84, they faced the Royals in the ALCS and the Padres in the World Series to win it all. So it could be setting up for a Disney-type movie.
Why not?
Let's do it.
Look, the streak is the streak. The way they've played, it's all there. I just don't see a reason to fight it. And I'm not going to be the curmudgeon. I haven't been for weeks. You get to a point where once you begin watching the Twins on a nightly basis and you start seeing this Tiger team, the way that they were doing things, I think we jumped on this by mid-September where we're like, you've got a way better shot than what Fangraphs is saying. You still have a lot to do. Mm-hmm. I still don't know if it's happening. But curmudgeon phase was like mid to late August. We've been on this.
Wait a minute, Michael.
What's up, buddy?
David may be on to something. Disney movie, Kansas City. Mm-hmm. They beat the Padres. And who called the show, the morning show? Who called the morning show and said, don't give up on this team? Who hit the game-winning home run to end the series against the Padres? Same guy.
Synergy. Look at that. Well, that's it. All right. No reason to bother today. All set. We're good. Look, here's a more relevant question. Does this team lose the rest of the way? I don't know. Magic 8 Ball says unlikely. So I would like to hear from the people on it. What's your confidence level? No, I'm being serious. Today will be a nail biter. Today's going to be stressful. It's playoff baseball, and the way you play, that's not a shot. It's very hard to separate from other teams. You don't have the talent base. It's hard to do it. And the team you're facing, yes, they have good pitching. I won't get, like the other day, Rico, I never was worried the team was losing. I have this weird thing with these guys that basically they're like the rich kid, even though they have a poverty payroll. Like even if they get in trouble, Daddy will bail them out. In this case, Daddy's God. Like, this team just gets what they need. They just get what they need.
Yes,
and I
feeling
don't worry. What's up, buddy? You were scared. I know you were.
Once it hit the eighth inning, I was like, I don't think this is going to happen. I think that this, you know what? It was a good ride, but they're not scoring runs. And, hey, newsflash, you can't win games if you don't score runs.
David, he's doing the deflator routine right here.
No. I'm just being honest. And then as Carpenter's up at the plate, I'm like, you know what? It'll be so fitting if all of a sudden he hits and I didn't even finish the statement. The ball is going out of the park, and right there it is.
That's it.
Didn't even finish it.
So
David,
my thing,
don't. Oh, okay.
Oh, cheap production. Perfect. No, I think the other thing, and again, 248-539-9797. I won't even bat an eyelash. I won't even sit up in my chair today until or unless Cobb's out of this game and it's tied. Like, if you're tied and now we're going to go with the Cade Davis show or we're going to do some things, well, then it gets a little bit interesting. But in the early stage, look, unless Montero goes out there and pulls a Holton, I just think this will be a bit of a grindhouse. But, look, we'll get some phone calls. I'm going to get some ticket texts as well. Dak Reese, we need Dak Reese. From afar, we need Dak Reese, Rico.
All
right. This is their opportunity right here. This is built for you, Alex Cobb. Good Lord, you may as well have Jimmy Powers on the mound. His shoulders don't even work. 248-539-9797. Here's Rico with a good word from the good book.
Man, I lost that bet. All right, somebody asked me the other day, how many devices does the average home has connected to their Wi-Fi network? I thought it was more than what it really was, and it really was even more than that. I actually went home and I counted the connected devices I own, and it was more than a dozen to keep me connected to all the good stuff, my streaming, the internet, security, you name it. Xfinity knows the number of devices that we have connected to our internet is growing by the year. That's why they've engineered their gateways to handle hundreds of connected devices. Hundreds, for real. Now through October 10th, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $30 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract, and get free Wi-Fi equipment included, and ask how to get an eligible free 5G phone with Xfinity Mobile. Make sure your home Wi-Fi can handle everything you throw at it and then some. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or simply visit a store today. Xfinity, bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with a store bank account. Taxes and fees extra after promo regular rates apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Actual speeds vary.
All right, you've heard us talk about David Femininio for a long time. Best in the game. Here are the results he has delivered for his injured clients. $3.5 million, $5 million, up to an astounding $11.5 million. You need an attorney that will fight for you, but how about one you can get on the phone? Call David right now. He'll answer 855-65-CRASH or go to that website, getdavidgetpaid.com. All right, David, let's get a few ticket texts in the mix. We'll get some of the people as well. Downtown is quite a scene. I think the ballpark today is going to be awesome. I don't care what the Athletic says. To hell with them. The idea that this is the least of the home field advantages. All right, we'll show you. You'll see. You'll learn. Be daiquiris flying onto the field. It's going to be chaos. David, ticket text first.
Eric in Livonia says today and tomorrow will surpass the home environment of 06 to 13. New generation of fans get to show out. Today will be loud. Great show, guys.
Oh, thank you.
Tigers remind me of the 2011 Cardinals, the rally squirrel. That's what we're doing this year. Okay.
I'm not mad if anybody says they're winning the damn thing. Rico and I had you beating Houston. We got you beating the Guardians in 4. It ain't like we've doubted it. Yeah, if you want to be like, well, you wrote us off. Earth wrote you off. Okay,
please. You know what?
You got beat writers on their honeymoon right now, not covering the team. Why? Because you were dead.
Yeah, can we wall? We need a phrase like wall. Like, can we just forget about? Yes, at the time, I said if a sweetheart deal came from Scooble, you absolutely trade for him. It didn't happen. The team didn't think they were going to do this. They said we're going to ramp down Scooble's starts. They pretty much said we're just going to wave that beige flag, not the white flag, but kind of
beige,
off-white flag.
Lovely shade of taupe.
Right.
No, I mean, it's just it's you're done even trying to make sense of it, and you just go. And I mean, look, day by day they keep doing it. I mean, obviously, a lot can change in 24 hours if they don't play well today, but I still will believe they can win this series. Like, I still think having the hammer in Game 5 and my faith in Tanner Bybee not being as high as some, I'm good no matter what today. I'll be great with a win. So it just then you get to sit back. Yes, David.
Confidence level 7.5 out of 10, and anxiety level through the roof. Go Tigers, Zach from Chesterfield.
Be all right, Zach. Go get yourself a little daiquiri. You're gonna be all right.
A2 Tecumseh says the stadium is going to be electric. We win today. Got to find a way to win Game 4.
Yeah, but all right, I'll let it go. My point is, knowing you got Scooble in your back pocket for Game 5, the pressure's on the Guardians. Plus, the Guardians were the better team all year, played better baseball all year, had a better record by wide margin, and there are expectations placed upon the Guardians. I think all the pressure's on them. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a weapon, man. And you're seeing it. The pressure's weighing down the Yankees against the Royals. You don't think Aaron Judge knows he's striking out 34.8% of the time in his career in the playoffs? Maybe the worst mark ever. You don't think Aaron Judge knows that he sucks? I mean, Giancarlo Stanton's running like he has to take a poop. Guy can't even get to first.
Mike, you're right.
I mean, he may as well be running holding his ass.
But you're right.
Like he's running into the woods and he has to drop a grumpy. Listen, it's a disaster right now.
Yeah, look at all the favorites. All of them are looking up saying,
Dodgers.
Okay,
Yep.
Phillies, what are we doing here, guys? We didn't think we were going to be down in our series.
Are the Mets the NL Tigers? Not stylistically, but
They
in
are.
the destiny routine?
No, they are. They absolutely are, because everything that had to, I mean, even down to that doubleheader that they played against Atlanta.
Yes.
In that game, it was like, okay, we're winning. We're losing. Nah, we're actually going to win this thing.
Well, yeah, right. Give us that back. Let me get Derek in the mix here. 97.1. Derek, how you doing, buddy?
Great. How you doing, man?
Excellent.
So I was
What's on your mind?
down there, I was downtown at a restaurant and at 11:30, and people were already packing in. I left downtown about an hour ago. The Lodge in 75 was already crazy. I mean, the atmosphere down there is going to be electric. It's already electric. And
it's going to be nuts.
Down, so.
And I don't think you can replace it's so special because we haven't had it, because the franchise has been such trash. It's been awful. They had the longest streak of not making the playoffs in the sport. Like, that is always, like, I know people don't want to hear this, but, like, you'll never have another home playoff game with the noise level like last year against the Rams for the Lions. Why? Like, the fact we don't get it makes it more special.
Yeah. And if AG doesn't win Manager of the Year, they better take all the writers and voters that did that, put them in Tom Gore's T-shirt can and shoot them in Lake St. Clair.
I'm with you on that. Now, I've been beating that drum for a while. I mean, AJ does more on a day-to-day basis with less than anybody else. He's got his team on the cusp of an ALCS. He has his hands all over this roster. And on a day-to-day basis, all the decisions, all the levers he has to pull, he deserves Manager of the Year. I understand Stephen Vogt's team was better all year. But when you really look at what AJ has dealt with, yeah, I'm sorry, but if you have to have a sad breakfast over a sad crepe or sad Benedict with your GM president, and the conversation is, well, geez, how do we get to the end of the season? And you're playing for the right to go to the ALCS? No, you don't get a fruit cup. You get Manager of the Year.
I agree. My only concern, and I got one.
Oh, deflate away. Let me hear it.
You want it now, or you want it on the other side? I'll give it to you now.
No. Because you know David's probably landing a plane over there. No. Stop. Rico has one main concern, and we're going to get to it next because we're going to be timely today. Get ready to tackle NFL with FanDuel. By the way, I think the Tigers are like minus 105 if you want to play them. Right now, new customers bet $5, get $300 in bonus bets. If you win, you can build an SGP for Thursday Night Football. Rico, you got anything in mind for Thursday Night Football? We going like Purdy over 4.5 touchdowns at plus 6,000? What are we doing here?
No, I'm still trying to tabulate, Mike, to see who's going to be playing because it's basically a mass unit.
Minus 200, the Niners start someone who works at a paint store at wide receiver. FanDuel.com/ticket. Make every moment more. It's FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and up, present Michigan. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued, non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See terms. Sportsbook.fanduel.com. You got a gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, so before we let the lion out of the cage and the game begins, Rico has one concern. Now, I'll listen to this, but don't be doing that deflation.
No,
now,
Mike,
what's your concern,
Mike?
Mr.?
It's not deflation. It's just the fact that this team has been playing red hot, and I'm not saying it's just one person's fault while they've been hot, but the fact that Javi is now back around the team concerns me.
No. Now, come on. This isn't Hocus Pocus, the movie.
If you are a superstitious person, it's just saying it's one of those like.
All right.
So here's
what you got to do.
Around? Really?
You got to call your college roommate.
Mm-hmm.
He's the king of superstition and jinxes and all that stuff. Ask him.
Okay.
And by the way, people, Rico's college roommate is Doug Karsh. No BS.
Wasn't he around when Carp hit that home run, though, for the last game? I'm not worried about it.
Okay, you know what, Kenny? You win.
No reason to deflate
You know
today.
what? You win. I stand down. I yield to the senator from Kentucky.
Daiquiris, Rico. Daiquiris.
Kenny, what would you – let me ask you a question. What would you give to be at this game today?
Give quite a bit. It's probably the biggest game Comerica Park has seen in, 10 years now? Yeah.
Would you call it quits with your girlfriend for a ticket?
No.
I had to try. Okay. I'm kidding. I'm just trying to see a level of your commitment. Tickets. David, some ticket text, please. We are minutes away from going to pregame. Can we please?
All right, let's not get ourselves in trouble before we get to the Tiger game. The bats are way overdue, and Cobb hasn't pitched in a month. I think we do what Cleveland did to us in Game 1 and take control of the series.
Yeah, I agree with the texter quite a bit. You're throwing a pitcher who I don't have a lot of respect for. You can have some soft metrics, but he's 37. He's a righty, which has bad news against Tigers because their best players are all left-handed. And he hasn't thrown in a month. You know, if he goes on the mound and he doesn't find it early, if he's kind of searching for, good luck.
2006 Cardinals win the World Series at 83-79. Yes, I do think this Tiger team can do it. They are the hottest team that tends to be the team that makes the World Series.
Yep. Yeah, and again, it's sometimes when you least expect it. I don't know. I can't make sense of it. I don't even try to anymore. I just feel like, all right, whoa, bases are loaded, nobody out. Cool. Line drive off the pitcher's crotch into a triple play. Done. One pitch. That's how it works.
This is Brian from Dearborn. He says, I am a Guardians fan, and obviously I am rooting for them, but the Tigers win against them, I will be happy as well. Detroit has played hard the last month and two, and they deserve the whole thing. Ooh, wow.
Yeah, and I'm also a weirdo, is that, yes, I'm a Yankee fan, whatever. Dude, I work in Detroit. I live here. This is my home. This is my city, you know, and I operate a business. Tigers winning the World Series, great for business. I can't even front. So it's like, yeah, I'll be pissed at the Yankees, but that's in a separate bubble. No, I can be very happy for you. Now, there'll be certain people I won't be happy for, but don't worry about it. The point I'm making is I'm going to be happy for the fans, and we'll leave it there.
Really? We don't want to? Okay. You know what? How about the next segment?
No, I think you can connect dots. I'm not a big fan of certain people in this town, and I can be happy for the fans, and we'll leave it there.
We'll talk about that next segment.
No. No, he don't even qualify. I ain't talking about no D-listers. I'm talking about hitters, people of consequence.
Woo! I love it.
Mike, we'll discuss it over dinner at Houston's.
It's opening next week, I swear.
Right.
Just in time for the World Series.
Right. The grand opening of Ford Field's restaurant.
And if you can't get World Series tickets, the overflow is going to be in the district.
Which I think they're using today. I think they're
somebody set up their iPad.
You may as well hit the Kenny Whoopee cushion on that. That's the line of the day right there. Did somebody set up their iPad?
Oh, man, let me read something here. Tom from Ann Arbor says, Cleveland is definitely getting scared. A win today with Scooble for Game 5, and then that will ease my anxiety.
I'm sorry. All I see is an iPad, and then they do a bunch of sponsorship around it. It's just this little square. Come to the watch party. Brought to you by Around the NFL. And it's just a singular iPad. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. All right, David, what did you say to me? I don't think you could say that on the air.
Oh,
what was that?
Sure. And let me read this when Brian from House says this run feels supernatural. Dare I say team of destiny. Can't see it ending, but I'm going to knock on wood.
I'm good with it. And destiny's not an insult. Why does it have to be an insult? Guys, look, go win the damn game. Daiquiri's up. Let's make it happen. It's Alex Cobb. Your pregame show is next. Do the business. 97.1.
Curveball hit hard out in the left field. It's in there for a base hit. Hart may have a shot at box. Here comes the throw. John Ward lets it go, and he runs over 3, and they got it.
The crack of the bat.